Temperatures tonight dipping back below zero. The highs through Saturday only in the teens. Still so very cold out there, making it dangerous to be outside. Thanks for inviting us in. It's 11 o'clock. This winter stretch is wearing on all of us, but we've got some good news for you on the travel front. At midnight, Marion County is downgrading to a travel advisory status. So that means people are reminded to take extra care on the roads. If you've been out, you know that crews are making progress clearing the snow, but we're not out of the woods yet because, Angela, we may see some slick spots because it is so cold out.
It is so cold. We're forecasting low temperatures, sub-zero, and wind chills even lower. So weather impact alert continues for the next couple of days because of the dangerous cold. These are the forecast low temperatures for early tomorrow morning. Below zero temperatures, below zero wind chills, lots and lots of school delays and closures. So again, the weather impact alert continues, all due to this bitter cold. Follow the forecast closely, have indoor plans, and layer up if you're going to be outside. Temperatures right now already in the single digits for most of us. We have 1 in Bedford, 2 in Lafayette, going sub-zero in Bloomington and Terre Haute already, and the numbers will go even lower. Feeling like 7 below zero already in Indianapolis, so those wind chills double digits below zero. Gets a little better tomorrow afternoon with some sunshine. Below zero to start, highs tomorrow in the teens.
All right, Angela, thanks so much. Here's a way you can monitor the cold. Get our WTHR weather app because that will allow you to check in with our weather team anytime right there on your phone with the hourly forecast and the weather blog. It's a free download. Get it before you go to sleep tonight. You'll find it in the App Store. Big buildings, bigger power demands. As data centers boom across Indiana, communities are asking one question. Where do we draw the line? Alex Almanza shows us tonight how city leaders are also asking those questions with the answers still loading.
Environmental advocates say it's a Wild West era for data centers in Indiana with little guidance at the state level, leaving local governments to bear the brunt of developments. So now the question becomes, what power does Marion County have? That question echoes in the room where it happens, where several data center proposals have triumphed and hit massive roadblocks. At Wednesday's Environmental and Sustainability Committee meeting, nothing on the agenda except a discussion, a brainstorm session, if you will.
And so we're in good company with other municipalities really thinking about this, struggling with this, coming up with the right solutions that is done side by side in coordination with our residents. 2
presentations on Wednesday, including from the Hoosier Environmental Council, which revealed that deregulation at the national level is paving the way for data centers to move in and get online quicker. According to the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, of the 61 state-level data center policies compiled, 44 of those have passed, with most being last year. And of those, most existing data center policies that have been passed are tax incentives.
Okay.
Meanwhile, a Trump administration executive order signed last year looks to fast-track large-scale projects on both federal and non-federal land, reducing review timelines and public input windows.
Including factories, data centers, and power plants of all kinds, the United States will have total industrial and technological supremacy.
Here at home, city leaders are trying to find ways to slow it down and take a more thoughtful approach.
The challenge is not to let it bear you down or hold you back. You have to move forward and come up with solutions and start putting them on the table, because that's how you really solve this issue. And that always has to be in conjunction with listening closely to what constituents have to say.
Those constituents saying they hope the city steps up.
Right now we are virtually unprotected. Data centers can fly under the radar. There's no zoning that's specific to data centers, and so we need strong protections. Yeah.
Now, they're the same concerns that we've heard about for over a year: water usage, power consumption. Now the question for residents becomes, how can they pause a development in their community as questions about moratoriums are risen? At the City County Building, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
On Monday, a new era begins at IMPD. Tanya Terry assumes the role of police chief, taking over for Chris Bailey.
I'll be surrounded by a great team and great leadership, and I'm humble enough to know when to ask for help and lean on others to get through challenges.
Terry is currently a deputy chief for the police department. In her 27 years, she has served as a sergeant and district commander. She's overseen the department's push to reduce homicides and shootings. And according to IMPD, both are down 44% over the last 4 years. Terry told us she knows addressing the current officer shortage is going to be one of her biggest challenges, but not the only one.
My responsibilities are certainly going to change. My perspective is certainly going to get more broad, moving from having responsibility of about over 800 people on our agency to being responsible for the entire agency.
Terry will be sworn in as police chief Monday, February 2nd. Chief Chris Bailey is leaving for a job in the mayor's office. 4 of the 5 people charged in the shooting of a Tippecanoe County judge just made their first court appearance today. A special judge is assigned the case in Cass County. Investigators say Thomas Moss connects everyone in this investigation. He was scheduled to go on trial in Judge Steve Meyer's court 2 days after the judge and his wife were shot in their home in Lafayette. Moss waived his right to an attorney and told the judge today he wants to represent himself in this case.
What skills or knowledge do you have to help you?
I don't.
Okay. Have you ever studied criminal law?
No, ma'am.
Have you had previous experience with the criminal justice system?
Nothing favorable.
The judge set bond for the 4 suspects. They also have the same court dates with a jury trial set for May 6th. Tonight, our 13 Investigates team reveals a growing issue with those GLP-1 drugs. Indiana's Poison Center reports a spike in overdose calls. Our 13 Investigates reporter Sierra Putman found a family who wanted to tell their story and show what can happen.
7-year-old Jessa is wheeled through the hospital. Ashen, exhausted, in pain, and hooked up to an IV, admitted after taking her mother's GLP-1 medication.
But I don't think we were prepared for how bad it was going to get.
These images bring back terrible memories, but Melissa Mylander hopes they can also bring awareness of what can happen with a GLP-1 overdose. Doctors admitted the 7-year-old to the hospital days after she self-injected her mother's medicine. Medical records show Jessa was vomiting and was admitted to the ER for rehydration. An IV drip and medication stopped the worst of the symptoms, so doctors sent her home.
I should have never let them discharge her.
A night of rest, then the vomiting returned.
Like, she was thirsty. That's the only thing that she wanted to do was drink water, but then she would throw it up.
Jessa got so weak, her mother had to carry her to the bathroom. So back to the hospital. Doctors admitted her again.
She didn't eat for 6 days straight.
Jessa's medical records show doctors worried about her kidneys, specifically renal shutdown because she stopped urinating.
Were you worried that her life was at risk?
100%. On Saturday night is when we as a family gathered around her because she was just laying there like lifeless, really.
Melissa didn't wait to get help. She called the Poison Center immediately after learning Jessa took the medicine. GLP-1 related calls to poison centers nationwide are up 1,500% since 2019, averaging hundreds of calls a month last year. The Indiana Poison Center reports calls doubled last year. In 2025, it received 320 calls.
That is a big increase.
Dr. Mary Wormuth is a toxicologist at IU Health. She says while overdose cases are up, calls involving children like Jessa are rare. The vast majority of cases involve adult women.
The dosing errors we typically see are too frequent or inaccurate or too high of a dose.
Some people take it too often, forgetting it's a weekly medication. Others take too much, sometimes on purpose, but usually by mistake, especially with compounded medications that may come with multiple doses in a single vial like this. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, and other gastrointestinal issues. Severe reactions can lead to dehydration and pancreatitis, which can land you in the hospital.
Just because it's thought to be used for weight loss. There are other indications, diabetes and so forth. That doesn't make it any less toxic if you take it inappropriately.
Going home after the longest week of our lives.
How's she doing now?
Good. Yeah, she's back to Jessa.
So why did Jessa grab her mom's medication from the fridge?
I thought it was stomach medicine because my mom takes it and I thought it helps her with her stomach aches.
Melissa is glad Jessa took only 60% of her medicine and not the full amount.
I try not to think about the what if. God protected us from the worst, and I firmly believe that. But yeah, I think it could have been a lot worse.
A year later, and Jessa smiles telling the story. She doesn't remember just how scary that time was for her parents.
She's my little girl, you know, so that was rough. Oh, she's grabbing my hand.
Now, Melissa keeps her GLP-1 medication in a locked box.
I got it the day she overdosed on it. It was $20 on Amazon, and it's been in my fridge ever since.
Doctors say lock boxes are key to keeping these medications away from curious kids. As for adults, carefully read the instructions and ask your pharmacist to demonstrate how to take it properly.
Once you've injected too much, there's no, oops, let me take this to counteract it, fix that mistake, correct that error. Like, no, now you're dealing with whatever the consequences are of that.
Despite their fears, Jessa made a full recovery. Her parents hope their daughter's story can protect other kids. Another way to protect yourself is to make sure your GLP-1 medication comes from a reputable source. Right now, you may see what looks like a good deal online for these drugs, but doctors warn counterfeit medications can be dangerous because they're not regulated. Sierra Putman, 13 Investigates.